What up, what up? We here, yo. We here, yo. One time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get it, y'all. One time.
Period. Y'all make sure y'all fave up the best DJ on the app, DJ Rich B. Welcome and welcome back to the newly featured Modern Day Bae with L, the only show on Tag navigating the modern way to find your bae, all right? And the only live stream podcast tackling the challenges of modern day dating and romantic relationships. My name is Elda Drug. I am your hostess, and I welcome you to the show tonight. Tonight, we are broadcasting season 2, episode 5 of Modern Day Bae, which is a weekly show occurring every Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern, and it is brought to you by the Scouts. All right. I am very excited about tonight's show. Y'all know how it is when the content comes into play. However, I do have a few announcements that I have to go over, so bear with me while we pay some bills, okay? And the first one is to myself, because I'm going to tell you about what other content I've got going on, all right? Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern, you can catch the Morning L, which is my morning stream. It is, we also do Rich Rising Affirmations. And again, that's every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Obviously, on Tuesdays, you can catch me right here for Modern Day Bae. On Thursdays, I do a Makeup Get Ready with me called Face the L, which is at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then on Fridays, after the Morning L, you can catch me co-hosting featured show The Brighter Side with Top Badge Lolo at 11 a.m. Eastern. All right, so I've got a lot of things going on. So, really quickly, a few special announcements. Sign-ups to be on Modern Day Bae with L are currently full, but I will be opening signups for season 3, on September 1st, y'all. So if you want to co-host an episode with your girl, September 1st is the day to get in my inbox. Let me know, all right? It's kind of a big deal, you know? Y'all should really, set your alarm, set your calendars, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because I want to get you on the show. Also, if you're interested in sponsoring Modern Day Bae, please contact me. The link to my IG is in my bio, and let me know you're interested in the available sponsorship packages. If you are just tuning in, welcome to Modern Day Bae with L, a weekly show every Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern, the only show on Tag navigating the modern way to find your bae. All right, my name is L. I'm your hostess, and Modern Day Bae is brought to you by the Scouts. I'm excited for tonight's show, y'all. We have a great lineup for you. I have a ton of stuff to talk about for this topic, and I will be bringing up my featured guest co-host in just a minute. Let's talk about tonight's topic. If you follow me on Instagram, you already saw the question of the week. How do you know if you're emotionally available? In other words, how good are you at dealing with uncomfortable? All right? People who are emotionally available typically have the ability to engage in meaningful conversations about the root of their emotions. They're usually able to comfort others during an emotionally difficult time. They are known to be willing to discuss yours and their feelings openly and honestly while remaining respectful of either party's boundaries, all right? Through life experiences, societal ideals, betrayals, loving and losing, and many other things that shape our perspectives on romantic relationships, it can be challenging, to say the least, to develop, let alone maintain emotional availability and connections through every stage of life. During this episode, we will chat with our co-host about gauging how emotionally available you are, what the usual signs of emotional availability are, and what an emotionally available partner feels like. We are going to dive into this topic with our featured guest co-host first, then get into a short themed activity, followed by my favorite part, everybody's favorite part, the Boss Bae panel. Whenever we bring up the baddest baes on the app, and we have an open forum discussion about the topic at hand, all right? All right, y'all, make sure that our co-host feels welcome, please. Our featured co-host tonight is a genuine energy that many don't often experience. His authenticity and insight are a treat to have on the show, and I'm delighted to have him as part of the Modern Day Bae production team. Please welcome to the co-host seat, King Aquarian Soul, y'all. Let me see those emojis. Welcome.
Hey, how are you doing?
It's great. I'm really excited to do this episode with you, friend. I feel like we've been planning this for a long time, so I'm happy we were able to finally make it happen. You heard me?
Yeah, same here, same here. I look forward to it.
Period. Okay, so before we get into the conversation, I like to make sure that people know who they're talking to, what's going on with you and your stream. Will you give us a little intro and tell us a little bit about who you are and what to expect in your stream if we stop in?
King Aquarian Soul. I like to consider myself somewhat of an anomaly on the app. Like, I'm here and then sometimes I'm not, but I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy just getting to know people, learning about people, promoting everybody. I do some verses here and there, just trying to build faves up and just getting to know people. Like, I'm a genuine person.
Okay, so period, y'all. If y'all looking for connection, okay, for authentic connection, make sure you tap in with Aquarian. How long have you been streaming on Tag?
I've been on here 10 weeks.
How long?
10 weeks.
10 weeks. I've only known you for 10 weeks.
I think I've known you for probably about 8 or 7 of them.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I can't believe it. I feel like I've known you for so much longer. Okay. Do you have any streaming goals you'd like the people to support you on right now?
Honestly, right now, the most thing that I'm trying to do is get my faves up. The diamonds come when they come, but I hope to eventually go for top badge one day. But the faves is the main thing that I'm looking for.
Period. So there's a couple top badges in here right now. So make sure that you know what I'm saying, find them, tap in with them. All the people that come in here are genuine, authentic souls for the most part. And I'm actually very privileged and honored to be around them on a regular basis. So I have a question that I ask every single co-host on the show. And that is, in one word, what characteristic is most important in your modern day Bae?
I would say understanding.
Understanding. That's a huge one. That's a huge one.
I love to have someone that not only just listens to me and hears me, but somebody that actually understands me.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that understanding goes into that sense of belonging that a lot of us need for validity in our relationships, especially romantic ones. So very, very good point. I am actually going to concur with you. Understanding is huge for me, especially as a streamer, right? Because I feel like a lot of times you see part of my personality, but not the whole picture. So if I give you access to see the whole picture, and you don't understand it, that makes me feel like I'm not good enough, right? Or I'm not so. And that's something that I had to learn in order to overcome. So very, very, very good answer. Thank you for that.
I mean, also, you can also look at it like sometimes when you meet a person, you don't give them your full self because maybe you've tried that before and it didn't go good. So I might give you a little bit of me to see how much you understand of that, because if we hear and I'm trying and you're not getting it, I'm like, I
can't do much if you don't understand, right? It's above me. All right, y'all, if you're just tuning in, welcome to Modern Day Bae with Elle. That's me. I am your host. This is the weekly show we do every Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and the only show on Tag navigating the modern way to find your Bae. This show is brought to you by the Scouts, and I am here with my guest co-host this week, King Aquarian Soul, and we are about to dive into our topic of the night. It's emotional intelligence. How do you know if you're emotionally intelligent? So let's just get right into it, Aquarian. What does it mean to be emotionally available to you?
It has a lot to do with your ability or inability to actively listen. I think that's one of the main components, because you can listen, but you can passively listen, and not really hear what you're saying for real. Or you can actively listen, you can truly actually hear what a person's saying, patience, being able to listen to a conversation from someone else, or what I would want in someone else is for you to be able to listen to me and not feel the need to cut me off or jump in and try to throw something or alter the conversation other than what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people that have this habit is like, you have this problem, you ain't say nothing about this problem, then all of a sudden when I'm talking, you just gotta bring this problem up that you never talked. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it happens a lot.
I know exactly what you mean. It's one of those hey, when you did this, it hurt my feelings. Well, you did it. And it's like, well, you didn't tell me that it hurt your feelings. Otherwise, I would have apologized and not done it again. And now isn't the best time to bring it up because I'm bringing up my feelings to you. I completely understand. How important is it for you to date someone who is emotionally available?
It's a deal breaker.
It's a deal breaker.
Deal breaker. I mean, if I want to liken it to something, I will liken it to a boundary, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't talk to you, if I can't, because it's crazy. So, I was born in 87, right?
Okay.
So I was born in the generation where we were told as males to not express your emotions, to not express them. So I've learned to keep them inside and keep them to myself. So when a person comes to me and they're like, "Babe, I want you to open up more. I want you to talk more," I'm like, I don't really want to. And you know what I'm saying? It becomes a problem. And then I start to, and I let it out, and I let it out. And then it's like, and you do something that's just like, it completely counteracts everything I was trying to do. So now you've put me in a position where I feel like, you know what? Back into the shell. I'm good. But then that's a problem for you too. Like, I'm gonna nip that in the. I've had that too many times. So as soon as I feel it the first time, I'm not gonna let it grow into something else. I'm just like, nah.
That's a really good point. Who do you feel is more emotionally available, men or women, and why?
If I'm gonna speak 100% honestly, I think that both sides lack. And it's not every person. You might have one person that's a male that's emotionally available, but the female is not. You may have a female that's emotionally available, but the male is not. Like, or we deal with so many people in our lives that are not emotionally available. We expect you not to be. So when you try to be with me, like, I might be a little defensive, like, hold on, what you want? Like, so I don't think it's just, I can just say one side, because there's too many variables.
So you're saying that you're saying no group is more emotionally available than the other?
I'm saying that at times. I'm saying that at certain times, depending on who the people are.
Being emotionally available to your partner is part of the challenge, but sustaining that emotional availability is key. How would you respond to a partner who is no longer emotionally available in your relationship?
I come to you and talk to you. I'm going to come to you and have that uncomfortable conversation. When I was in college, in my business management class, we had to read a book called Crucial Conversations. And it was basically about figuring out what it is that you want to say to a person and what are you trying to pull out of a conversation. And the crucial moments when, if you approach it the wrong way, it's going to go left very quickly, right? Like, so I'm going to come to you and I'm going to tell you about how I feel. I'm going to tell you about, like, why I may feel that way and try to see if maybe it was something I saw wrong, right? I'm going to approach it from an open mind, right? Maybe I'm viewing something that you're doing incorrectly, and I just need to understand that from you. It could be that, right? But I'm going to come to you and try to have that conversation with you in order to try to figure out what it is that maybe I'm lacking, or try to talk about what maybe you could be lacking, whatever it may be, in order to make this work.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so we're going to hop back in towards a little bit more towards the men and women wives situation. I want your perspective on this particular question. A lot of people believe male gender identified people who are emotionally available are soft, weak, or non-masculine, in turn causing men to adopt emotionally unavailable habits. How would you respond to people who believe or practice this?
I would get to know the roots of what caused you to feel the way that you do. Like, was it from your childhood? Was it a heartbreak? Was it multiple heartbreaks? Like, what was it brought you to that position to feel in that you're in that space, right? When it comes to people's opinions and people's thoughts about you, cut that out. Don't even worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, people gonna think what they're gonna think. They're gonna say what they're gonna say. Then, like, and most people will not even approach you to talk to you about their thoughts or opinions about you. They'll just walk around feeling the way that they do. People formulate opinions from a distance. Why do I care about what you feel? You think I'm soft? Come prove it. And like, but then if you come prove it, then I'm hyper masculine for beating you up. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you lose in a situation like that, you know? Like, but yeah, like, don't worry about what people think about you. Don't worry about what people feel about you. Like, the only thing that should matter is how you feel about yourself.
I appreciate that perspective. I don't think so many people are okay with just accepting what people say about them, or at least, or maybe they don't have the confidence to not believe what other people are saying about them or whatever. But I think that's a key element, and I think that goes into self-love, which I'm going to ask you this question, and then we'll start to get into the other part of the show. What role do self-love and confidence play in being emotionally available?
It's everything. Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, self-love, and what was the other part?
Confidence.
Confidence. So
Mm-hmm.
when we're placing these two
That's you,
things into
baby.
the ideology of availability emotionally, like how you feel about yourself is going to determine how you treat your partner. If
Mm.
I'm always thinking that, if I'm paranoid, for instance, then I'm going to treat you with the actions of paranoia. Like, I'm going to think that you're doing stuff all the time. I'm going to think this, going to think that. Like,
Mm.
if I live with doubt, I may doubt that you love me. I may doubt that you actually care about me. I may doubt your intentions of why you're still here. You may be
Mm-hmm.
madly in love with me. You'll never leave me. You ditch me. Like I'm saying, like I may be living with regret. If you live with regret, you regret things that you allowed to happen in your past. Like, so you're a little overprotective of yourself now, and you're not willing to be more open. Like, there's a lot of different ways that can
Yeah.
really manifest, especially when we're talking.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Great insight. Great insight. Y'all, if you are just tuning in, welcome to Modern Day Bay with Elle. That's me. This is a weekly show we do every Tuesday at 11 p.m. Eastern. So make sure that you fave me and tap in. Make sure you fave my featured guest co-host this week, King Aquarian Soul. All right. We are just wrapping up the get to know show topic conversation with King Aquarian here. But stay tuned. We're about to get into a quick activity. And then after that, I'm going to bring up my girls, Callie and my girl, Susie, and we are going to have a Boss Babe panel discussion. Okay, baby. For the activity, y'all, I'm going to read a statement and y'all tell me in the comments what y'all think. If you think the statement means emotionally available, type A. If you think that it means emotionally unavailable, I'm going to have you type U. Someone who knows how to be vulnerable. Are they emotionally available or unavailable? What you think, Aquarian? See a lot of A.
I was typing in the comments.
You are. I see you participating. I see you. Look at putting.
I was jumping in the comments right quick.
Look, okay. Which what we gonna do then? Someone who is unafraid of conflict. Are they available or emotionally unavailable? Hey, all right, y'all. Y'all 2 for 2. Y'all 2 for 2. I got a couple more. Hold on. What about someone who's easily defensive? I see some U's. Yes, they are unemotionally signs that they are emotionally unavailable. Someone who is willing to take risks. Not A. Toxic. Exactly. Someone who avoids intimacy. I don't know what that meant, Navi. We gotta work on this for next week because I don't know. Yeah, y'all right though. That's you. Someone who respects your boundaries. Last two, excuse me. Someone who doesn't like or is scared of commitment. They available or unavailable? Uh-huh. And someone who is comfortable with discussing their emotions. Y'all, that's crazy. Yes, y'all. So it sounds like y'all know the key indicators of when someone is emotionally available or not. Okay, so please keep that in mind in your dating conquest. How are you?
Good today. How are you?
We love that. I'm good. I'm doing well as well. Thanks for asking. Okay, cool. So let's get started. Okay, so what I want to hop into is, do you think who's more emotionally available, men or women? What do you think and why?
Definitely. Honestly, these days, men they
are more emotionally available.
They might have taken the lead just a little bit.
I'm resigning. I'm done, y'all. We need a new host. Y'all got a new host over there.
I know it's gonna cause some controversy, but the way things are set up and how these men are acting and operating out of emotion, I can't help but to give them the point for that one.
I really don't know how I feel about that. What do y'all think in the comments? Who's more emotionally available? Do y'all think it's men or women? I think the traditional answer is women, and that's what we're expecting and used to hearing. So I'm not opposed to hearing a different answer.
No, they
Y'all, we hit gold 4.
That was the end of my statement. I'm gonna stick with I'm giving men the point for being more emotionally available at this time. Try and convince me otherwise.
My pushback on that is just that perhaps if those things are happening, right? If there's tantrums being thrown, if there's things happening, then that would indicate to me that that's emotional unavailability, right? Like a lack of emotional intelligence. So I hear you saying that men are more emotional these days. I'm not opposed to that. But I don't know that necessarily makes them emotionally available, if that makes sense.
I definitely feel like that men are more emotionally available. And for the reasons being is I feel like that the Harley was on to something until she went into detail. Then I completely disagree with everything she said. Everything she said I disagree with once she started explaining. I don't know what happened to her. She was on to something and then she went crazy. I feel like that men are more emotionally available because we are not so emotionally tied up so quick, you know what I'm saying? And so men are able to take in more before we just get emotionally tied up. And so I definitely feel like that men are more emotionally available, but not for the reason.
So you're saying that because men are not as quick to get emotionally involved, that makes them more emotionally available to the person that they're supposed to be emotionally available
Correct,
to.
because we're open to like feed into emotion, we're open to like digest it, to explore it. Whereas I feel like the other side of that coin, I won't point any fingers, but the other side of that coin, I feel like the emotion happens a lot quicker, which means they less inclined to really explore that before it's just like an attachment, you know. And so I feel like that's why a man will be more emotionally available.
I don't disagree. I'm willing to hear that. I'm willing to hear that.
So I absolutely do agree with a large portion of what Casper said. I agree. I'm definitely on the same side as Casper when we were like, I was listening to the queen talk and I was like, yes. And then she was like, I was like, hold on. Whoa, not too much. Like, whoa, hold on, right? So I think the only thing that separates my mind from what I've heard so far is that I don't like to generalize, right? I don't like to say men, all women, because it's some women out here doing some crazy stuff, and there's some brothers out here. I'd be like, bro, what is you on? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I ain't gonna hold you. So it's like that's why I like to keep it in that space, and I talk about variables. Like every situation is different. Like, so you may have the situation that the sister was talking about, because I've seen them too. I'll be like, run, right? I'd be trying to tell you to run, you know.
You see Malibu's Most Wanted when he stands up in the movie theater. Run.
But at the same time, dealing with myself and then dealing with a lot of the other men that I see, like I say, growing up, especially in like adolescence, like a lot of males did not like show emotions while we was always ready to bang, like, right? So it was like that's how you really showed your masculinity. It was like it was respecting, like I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna square up with you, we're gonna get it on. And then after that is done, but now that people want us to actually talk, they didn't want us to talk before, but they want us to talk now. Like, and so now some of us are trying to come out of the shell and talk, and then just be like, I guess we come out of the shell to the wrong woman. I'm never gonna say all women are bad, because I've met some really good women. Like,
right.
But I've also met some women that, like we talked about earlier, they were attached and then they were detached a few years later. Like. And I didn't realize it until it had already happened.
Great points. Thank y'all. We are more emotionally available because we don't get too emotionally involved in people that we don't have business being too emotionally involved in, therefore saving our emotions for the person that deserves it. My question is, does emotional availability depend on feelings for that particular person, or do you need to be able to do that in general in order to be an emotionally available and intelligent person?
I would like to say that I'm a Cancer. You feel me? And so a lot of people say we emotional, but with that being said, I feel like Cancers can understand emotion on a deeper level. And so for the same reason that you said, I definitely feel like that it's not something that it should just happen for certain people, but it's something that you should be able to do with anybody. You should be able to emotionally connect, on a romantic level with somebody, but also just on a human level, because like that's what I feel like empathy is. And so you should definitely be able to emotionally be available and be able to practice that with anybody. Because if somebody lose somebody, you need to be, or I'm not gonna say you need to, but you should be able to be emotionally available, to be open to hear their feelings and to be able to talk it out with them.
So you're saying that it does depend on the person, but you show different people different levels of emotional availability.
Right. It shouldn't matter, because emotion is something that everybody needs.
I appreciate that perspective. What about you, Aquarian?
But on some realness, like absolutely, I agree 100%. But I would just piggyback off of that and add to it and say that one of the reasons you have to have levels to it is because people will play you. Like people will take advantage of your feelings, of your emotions, and they'll try to use you. They'll try to get what they can up out of you because you're emotionally attached to them in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And then they'll drop you just the same once they're done with you. And then that leaves you emotionally damaged for the next person. That's like I was mentioning earlier.
Susie B, what you think, boo? What you think?
I think it's just it's the same consensus. It should be something you practice generally. And then, like Casper said, add the levels to it. Don't be so open or willing to give everything to one person. So I agree with both perspectives of the gentleman.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely like the idea that being able to read someone and distribute those emotions accordingly. I think that's important. I think that goes into self-awareness, which is a part of self-love. I think that goes into confidence and boundaries, all things that fall into self-love. So I don't know, y'all. Casper might be cooking tonight. Maybe he's gonna come out with a new show or something. Current day cutie, maybe. I don't know. We're gonna go with this last question. How does emotional availability affect your ability to find your modern day bae?
I would say that it affects it because when it comes down to finding what my ideal of my modern day bae is, just like I've been saying pretty much from the beginning, like if you can't understand me, if you can't meet right here and have that understanding between each other, like I care about your feelings, you care about mine, I listen to you, you listen to me, we care about each other, not just me caring about you and not showing me that. Like it's a deal breaker for me. So if you do give me any signs of like the opposite, I'm out of here.
Aquarian said, come correct or not at all, ladies. That's what he said. Okay. Susie B.
So essentially, I feel like I kind of been going on this path of like self-awareness and self-acknowledgement. And this goes into that. Like you can't seek a bae asking them to be emotionally available and understanding, and you can't offer that. So you really need to know yourself, know what you're looking for, know what you're seeking, know what emotional availability even looks like to you. Because I'm a Sagittarian, so my emotional availability may look different than what you're asking or what you're requiring, So it's good to have that conversation, but know yourself for sure, what you want and what you don't. So that way, when you approach with something in that way, you can make an informed decision based on what you're presenting and not based out of emotion.
I'm going to go ahead and take the training wheels off, guys. I think that the real problem is that when you emotionally available, and I'm speaking from a man's perspective, when you emotionally available and you open yourself up, it take a man a minute to truly open up and give you that attention. And then if you get used up and it leaves scars. And so a lot of time being emotionally available can backfire, because you can give all of yourself to somebody and be completely open, and you be completely open with them, trusting that they won't hurt you, and then you get hurt, and then as a man you can't even really express that feeling, because people like men ain't supposed to say that, like when men emotional, they made fun of, or it's not taken serious. And so being emotionally available as a man got so many backfires that can happen, but that is a big reason that men, being emotionally available, it hurt. We be messed up. And then when the next lady come along, they don't understand it, and we just another stereotype. Oh, then we become a stereotype, and it's not our fault. It's just we're a product of our environment.
Okay, I do like that, but I would challenge you on and we don't really have a lot of time to go into it because, as always, our time has gone so quickly, but I just would like to maybe push back and maybe think about if it takes you a long time to open up to the point that the other person is starting to emotionally pull back, there may be some room for improvement, right? Where you can start to open up a little bit faster, maybe be more vulnerable, maybe find more comfort in being vulnerable. Because I think that if it's taking a long time, that may be a sign that you in fact do need to work on your emotional availability.
I definitely feel like it's definitely room for growth.
But I appreciate your perspective. That's all right. Boss and Bae, go ahead and do your outros and box down for me.
I appreciate you for letting me tap in. My name is Casper. Y'all can find me. I'm here and there and everywhere. I do my show on Mondays, Geek Out. I had a blast. Thanks for having me, and y'all folks have a great night.
Thanks, Casper. Susie B.
Hi, it's me, Susie. Make sure that you hit me with the fave right now. Every Thursday, I am hosting bingo, so come out and play that.
It's time for my final thoughts, y'all. When it comes to emotional availability, someone who's emotionally available is comfortable sharing an uninhibited connection with someone else. They are comfortable with being open, including on an emotionally intimate level. Everyone is different and processes emotions differently, but it can be risky to be emotionally available to people who aren't the same to you. When dating and hoping to find a partner that is emotionally available, you too must possess these traits. You are what you attract, so find ways to enhance your emotional intelligence in order to develop the emotional availability you desire in your partner.
King Aquarian Soul, like I said, I'm not only on the app. I'll be here, I'll be there. I pop up sometimes, I don't. But it's a blessing to be on the app. It's a blessing to be on the show. One of the greatest people on the app.
I appreciate you, King. Thank you so much for your time and your insight. All right, y'all, that's the show. Thank you. That's the show, y'all. Thank you for joining us for season 2, episode Modern. And to this week's Boss Day panelists, Susie B, and of course, Casper for joining the team. Be sure to meet us back here next week, same time, same place. I think my mom is the guest next week, so it's going to be a good one. Make sure you tap in. I'm El the Drug, and remember, self-love is always the best love. All right, DJ Rich, take us out of here.